Dawn breaks on a new day of suffering for Egypt's thousands of working animals. A badly injured donkey is carried in for treatment at Aswan's UK-funded animal clinic. It's bleeding from a nasty gash to its head. Another donkey hobbles in with a suspected broken leg. These are road crash victims of Egypt's hectic streets, where horse and donkey compete for space, but always come off worse. Mary Gager from Jersey is on a tour of Egypt with animal welfare supporters from across the UK. They're on a fact-finding mission to see how the millions they help raise each year for equine charity The Brooke is spent on improving animal welfare.
I've seen some dreadful sights, but it's just absolutely opened my mind to how important the work is that Brooke is doing, because these poor animals have got nowhere else to go. And some of the sights have reduced me to tears, quite frankly. I keep donkeys myself at home, and I just think the work they're doing is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I'm so glad I came out here.
Josephine Brown from Jersey is another Channel Islander who signed up for the tour. Like all supporters on this trip, she's shocked by the extreme suffering of Egypt's donkeys and horses. Animals with terrible skin conditions, animals with injuries caused not just by traffic accidents, but by beatings from their owners, ignorant of good methods of animal welfare. Injuries caused by poor quality saddles and by tightly fitting harnesses made of rope that cut through the coat to cause deep sores.
I think the dedication is superb. They're so kind to the animals, but we hope that the kindness and the medical care, veterinary care, will influence the owners to treat them more kindly in the future and realise that the animal will work better and live longer if it's properly cared for and respected.
Egyptian vets and staff trained and paid for by the Brooke treat hundreds of sick and injured donkeys and horses every day. They run static and mobile clinics in Aswan, Luxor, Alexandria and Cairo. They also educate and train owners how to look after their animals in a better and a kinder way. The brick kilns of Cairo are a shocking example of the harsh life suffered by Egypt's working animals. Donkeys toil for hours every day, pulling huge loads of wet bricks, many times their own body weight. Owners believe the beatings make their animals work harder and faster.
Really, it's a big problem here because the beating, if the boy is delayed on his role in the furnace, the stakeholders may beat him with the same stick that used to beat their animals with it. So we try to talk with them, but stop beating, it's very difficult here.
I think it's one of the worst situations I've seen for the welfare of the donkeys in all the visits I've done with the Brooke. The donkeys here are working often 12 hours a day, and they're being handled by people who are getting paid on a brick-by-brick basis. So they're not interested in the welfare of the animals, they're interested in transporting as many bricks as they can, because the money they earn goes back to their families.
But the Brooke's message about better welfare is getting through. The owner of this brick kiln has provided resting space for the donkeys and drinking water.
We have meetings here for the committee of owners of the brick kilns. So I've started to take this message forward from the Brooke to other brick owners. They should take it again for the sake of their animals that they have. We are working on ready provision of water for these animals, less beating wounds and less harness wounds, because these are things that we do not accept to happen still today.
The supporters' final destination was Cairo, home to the original Brooke Hospital. It's 75 years since Army wife Dorothy Brooke from Salisbury in Wiltshire set up this clinic in 1934. Her concern back then was for the thousands of British war horses she saw neglected and dying on Cairo's streets. Today, the hospital network she founded has 830 staff and will this year spend £8 million on animal welfare around the world.
It's wonderful to see how it's evolving and how that Brooke can help to make a gradual change and improvement to the life of both the animals and the owners who have some on such very hard lives.
One tireless worker for the cause has been Dorothy Brooke's granddaughter. She's spent several decades helping to expand the charity created by her grandmother.
She'd be so thrilled to see everybody here, see them all looking and working towards continuing the work and expanding all the time. And it's beyond her wildest dreams, I should think. She was here by herself doing her thing, and now suddenly, the whole world is with her. That's what it feels like.
As a grand finale to the tour, Jersey residents Mary and Josephine were among the guests at a 75th anniversary reception held at the British Embassy in Cairo in honour of the Brooks' work and the fundraising efforts of all the supporters. It was hosted by the British Ambassador to Egypt, Dominic Asquith.
Brooke really gets into everybody's life. The economy for so many people depends upon their animals. In dealing with that aspect of people's lives, it has a huge effect, and we value that enormously.
I think the one word that stands out in my mind more than anything else is compassion. And it's the compassion of the vets, of the helpers, and of the administrative staff. Every single one of them just has so much compassion for these animals, and it's quite humbling to see. It's quite remarkable.
The Egyptians' harsh attitudes towards their working animals date back to the pyramids themselves. But the Brooke, through their clinics, their education and their training, is now trying to bring those attitudes into line with modern 21st century thinking. Fundraisers in the Channel Islands and right across the UK say they're determined to keep the money coming in. This is Keith Malone reporting in Egypt for Channel Television.